Hello guys, and today's episode is about changing your approach as being a dyslexic and what it means to conquer your dyslexia. And I'm kind of reflecting on the things that I've learned and things that I've discovered really recently about conquering dyslexia, about how it changes things. And I really feel it'll be valuable for you to listen and maybe reflect on yourself. Reflect on saying, oh, is this the right way of doing things? Or is it really bad to change my approach? Or what happens if I try this? I'm not getting the result I really want over here. What happens if I do something else? And I hope it will help you guys out. Anyway, please subscribe, share it to your friend, and please comment and saying if you like it or if you hate it. It'd really help me out, guys. I think it'll help me out. If you hate it, I'm not sure. But anyway, guys, take care, and I hope you enjoy today's episode.
So the big question is this: how can dyslexics like us create a place, a community, a tribe where people at any stage of life can come and solve any challenge, amplify their strengths, and ultimately help them become who they were meant to be? Or in other words, conquer their dyslexia. That is the question, and this show is the answer. My name's Theo Goff, and welcome to the Conquering Dyslexia podcast.
Hello guys, I hope you're doing good and alright. Today I want to talk to us a bit about changing our approach as a dyslexic person. And the reason why I want to have quite a conversation about this and share about this is that yesterday I changed my approach with not how I think about how my dyslexia, but how I really think about how conquering dyslexia in general. When we say conquering dyslexia, and before there was these 12 steps. There was these 12 steps that you follow. You go, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. That I did in my Conquering Dyslexia book. It's step 1 is make the decision. Step 2 is is understand the power of the mind, and always and it transpired. And as you probably know, I'm doing this Conquering Dyslexia live in less than a week, a week and a half or a bit more. I'm setting up that, and it's going to be a mammoth thing. With the actual presentations and with the people joining. I'm so excited for it. But Sunday I was going through it, and I was going through these 12 steps again, adding them in and making sure it's good. And I realised, I was like, oh my god, what if we change this? What if we could make these 12 steps better in a way? What if we could change it on? Yeah, I understand the concepts are there. Yeah, the concepts are there. And yeah, the things make sense, but what if we change things? What if we redesign these 12 steps and relabel these 12 steps? And then I got really obsessed and really excited with rechanging it. And I was writing all these different things down about okay, let's take a person, and basically the idea with the 12 steps to conquer dyslexia, any person from any kind of background, at any stage of life, whether you're 60, 70, 80, whether you're 14, can conquer their dyslexia. Now, what does conquering dyslexia mean? It means that you don't let dyslexia stop you or limit you in any way. And also you can use your the advantages of dyslexia in your life and practically use them. But the focus really is getting rid of all the crap that holds us back from moving forward. And that's the ultimate goal of it. And as I was doing these presentations, I realised that there was things that's so important that fall outside of the realm of the 12 steps that I wrote down. And also there's 12, because there's other things with the 12 steps that seem too specific. Does that make sense? Because if you have steps in principle, you can't have a specific action required to them. Because one of the things is goal setting that I did. And goal setting is some critical skill. Goal setting is just getting what you want, the ability to get what you want, and it's so critical. But I decided to change that, and I wrote it down here, and I changed these 12 steps. And so basically, I remember I wrote all things down, and I realised, oh my god, I have to change my whole presentation because it changes the order of things, doesn't it? And because before the first step was make the decision to conquer dyslexia. But now I changed it because I realised people sometimes have a misunderstanding of what their dyslexia is. People have a negative belief about what dyslexia is. People are uneducated in a way, but people don't fully understand or fully appreciate dyslexia and say, oh yeah, dyslexia is a problem with words. It's a problem with just with phonemes and that's it. No, it is not. Dyslexia is not, and that's when you look at it through a narrow view. Dyslexia is this wide, big scope of things. And funny actually, I was on a podcast with not Darius, with Stefan, when it says dyslexia is our advantage podcast. But anyway, I was doing it, and he said something. He said that the dyslexia is just a word meaning, like dyslexia means problem with words, doesn't it? That's what dyslexia means, problem with words. And so that's why it's called dyslexia. It means problem, and lexia, words, problem with words. And that's a very, very, very inaccurate way of calling dyslexia, because it's basically when you're ill, you cough. You have a fever. You don't call that a fever. You what caused it isn't the fact you're having a fever. What caused it isn't the fact you're having a cough. That's a symptom of the problem. The actual illness is some chemical imbalance inside that's not going good, or something happening that's creating dis-ease or disease in the body. Coughing, this, that, and we don't call it symptoms. We call it the cause. Dyslexia. The word dyslexia is a symptom. Problem with words is a symptom of having this unique brain that we call dyslexia. But there's so many other symptoms of just having problem with words that come out of having dyslexia. So anyway, my whole point is that people see dyslexia in a different way. People don't have an accurate view about how actually dyslexia is and how dyslexia operates. And yes, you have these things that are wrong, but also you have the things that are right. And so at the start of the presentation, I talked about all this, about what dyslexia is and all this sort of stuff. But I haven't really included my 12 steps. So it's like, okay, just let me educate about dyslexia, then go into the 12 steps. But I realised that was wrong. Because the first step of really conquering dyslexia, no matter who you are, is get a very accurate understanding about what is dyslexia. And when I say accurate, I don't mean pinpoint it and I can define dyslexia in a sentence or two sentences. No. What I mean by accurate understanding is having a very, very clear overview of what dyslexia is. About, okay, well, what's this thing I got? And I really have them in, talk about them in two different stages. So the first thing I talk about with dyslexia is that, look, dyslexia ultimately is a different experience. Dyslexia can't be summed up in some lab with some guy with glasses, some technical terms. Dyslexia is an experience that affects us completely differently. Dyslexia affects us as different as people are. Because we're people. And dyslexia isn't really a thing, it's got a word that's been made up. And we go through this and say, look, it's an experience. And these are the things you might have experienced. These are the things you probably have experienced. These are the things you probably have experienced. And these are the signs. And you speak about it not in terms of the signs and symptoms and just you mean in the logical order, saying you have this, and you might have dyslexia. It's like saying, look, you go through life thinking this. You go through life feeling this. It's not because of your dyslexia you feel. It's not because of if you're diagnosed with dyslexia or not, you feel that. It's because your brain's wired differently. And anyway, we go through this whole educational bit, and then after we go through this educational bit, we make the decision to conquer dyslexia, because one thing that's severely lacking in this world of basically dyslexia improvement stuff, doing all these things, is the own personal psychology of it. Because if you're not going to take responsibility of yourself, if you're not going to really try hard to make the decision to conquer dyslexia, no matter the amount of help or information you have, won't do it. It won't get you there. It won't help you. So that's why that's why we have to put in the steps. Okay, we have to make the decision to conquer dyslexia, and after we make that, we have to get rid of what we thought our own dyslexia is, and realize the truth. The truth is this: the worst thing about dyslexia is what we believe about our dyslexia, and we walk us through that. Okay, we realize, okay, the worst thing I believe about my dyslexia is actually myself, and we have to realize something that's really important. That yes, we made the decision to conquer our dyslexia, but what does that mean? It ultimately means being able to take responsibility over our own life and our own dyslexia, and doing that we have to understand why we feel about dyslexia. And this is I'm literally scratching the tip of the iceberg here. This is what I'm in depth in it at the moment. And thanks for saying that message. And so basically, it's scratching the tip of the iceberg. And so dyslexia is so much more emotion than we can ever really think. In terms of, it affects us emotionally. It doesn't affect us. The reason why we don't like dyslexia is that the emotions we feel, the beliefs we have, because we muck up 1, 2, 3 or 4 times, And that makes us believe a certain way, makes us feel a certain way. And that's ultimately like a disability, like believing we can't do it, believing we can't learn, believing I can't do this because you tried and failed before in the past, and therefore if you and I'm look, I'm not good enough. Look, I can't do this. Look, you mean I've tried and failed them before in the past? I can't do that. I'm not that sort of person, and I have them as well. I have them so much, especially when I don't take action. I don't do the things I want to do. I really don't like it, but we just have to fight them. We have to keep moving forward. Anyway, guys, I really hope you like listening to these episodes. I'm really consistent and every single day now, from now on. And anyway, guys, please comment, please share, please subscribe to the podcast so more people can listen to it. Take care, guys. Farewell and bye.